Hello Palians, welcome or welcome back. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to walk you through on my interpretation of a beehive in Palia. This is not going to be perfect, but I'm going to show you how to do it and kind of how you can get the feel of a beehive in Palia. I was inspired to do this after we did get some bee themed furniture added into the game, and I thought it would be adorable to see lots of apiaries around your farms. So here's an easy way to do it. If there's anything else that you have inspired to do and you want some ideas on how you could do it, please let me know in the comment, because I quite enjoyed doing this and kind of testing my creativity. Don't forget to like and also subscribe, but let's get into it. So I'm going to show you how to make the beehives, or how I make the beehives. First of all, you are going to need a builder's wall and a shelf. This should work on the Switch because we're not doing any fancy smancy glitching. We are just purely rotating the items, so you should be okay. It might just be a little bit finicky to get the placement right, but I'm going to go in with my terracotta paver. This is going to act as the roof for the beehive itself. When it comes to the beehive, I'm kind of going for like an Animal Crossing style beehive. I'm not a beekeeper, I don't really know what they look like, so that is kind of my reference if you're kind of judging how they look in the end. And then you're going to grab your shelf once you've placed your paver on top of it, and then we're going to rotate it anti-clockwise 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. And then it will look something like this, as you can see. And then I'm going to place this building block down because it does just make it a little bit easier to get the placement right, but whatever works for you. And then we're going to grab another paver, and then you're going to want to place it on top of the angle that we just had the paver on. And you're going to want to get this as kind of neat as you possibly can, otherwise you might have a bit of a wonky roof. And if you just hold it there until it goes green, and then once it goes green, you can just place it down. And just try and make sure that, as you can see, there's not very much overlap on either side. And then I'm going to grab another paver, and we're just going to lay that over it. For this one, you can kind of jump up here. It might make it a little bit easier just to make sure that you've got it like neat. And then I'm going to go ahead and place that as well. Okay, so as you can see, we've kind of got a little bit of a roof here. So what we're going to do next is we are going to cancel that out, and we're going to go back in and we're going to rotate our shelf back down to how it was. And then you can grab your main paver that we placed first of all, and we're going to rotate it around. Now, this can be a little bit finicky, but you want to get it so the original paver is kind of hanging over the edge of the shelf itself, so that we are able to place down more pavers. So once you've done that, you're then going to grab your shelf again, and we're just going to repeat what we did before. So 1, 2, 3, and it should look like that. And then we're going to jump up here, and we are going to place down our other paver until it goes green. Sometimes I do find being out of the grid mode does help a little bit with it, just to get it right. But yeah, try and line it up again as best as you can. And then you can see we've just got this little tiny gap to fill. So this one should be nice and easy to do. Ta-da. So there we go. There we have our roof. And from here, you can kind of grab this wherever you like. So for my base of my beehive, I'm going to use one of the camping log stools, which I think is adorable. And then I'm going to put this block here that we've actually got. I'm going to find some use for it. And I'm going to put this on top of my camping log stool. And then we're going to grab the original terracotta paver even and place this on top of there. So we have a little kind of roof area, as you can see. It kind of looks like a little mini house or a tiny library or something like that. And then I'm going to add this in as the kind of door, or like kind of hole. I feel like beehives traditionally have like holes and stuff, so this is just a little bit of a detail here. I'm actually going to raise it up a little bit because what I want to do is add a little shelf on here, and I'm going to use the camping shelf again, and then I'm just going to try and place it down here on the middle, because from there you can then add some little bits of clutter. So like we can pretend these are like little honey jars. We could even get a bucket if you have the Valley Rise Sun bucket. If you have the Valley Sunrise bucket from Zeki's, you can add this in as well. So there we have it. You can also, if you wanted to, and you have lots of starred bees, you could also add them around. So that looks kind of cute. And obviously, maybe if you're very lucky, you might have a bee plush as well, so you can add those down too. The next thing I kind of recommend is probably adding in some foliage around the outside. I'm really loving these from the new Pixie Blossom Bounce. These are really cute, and I think they add some really nice little like greenery without being too much. They're just the perfect size. I also think yellow flowers will be great here, so let's pick up maybe some mushrooms as well. These flowers have also grown on me. I know people say that they look like fried eggs, but I kind of do love the way that they look now. So just some random flowers just to kind of add in around. They're bees after all. They're gonna love having these flowers here. You could also add in some more height at the back, maybe with the bigger bushes if you wanted to. Just whatever really works for you. Maybe we should have done that on the other side. So let's move this around like this. There we go. And then I think maybe a big bush at the back would look nice. I don't know what I've done with them. I do have some. The ancient bushes is what I should say. Yes, these. These are also nice as well. Is this one fully grown in? No, of course it's not, Emma. Right, let's try and find one that is fully grown in. Yeah, see, it just adds a bit of height behind it as well. Just add in all those details. If you wanted to also, you could add some kind of like wooden planks underneath just to give it a little bit more detail, like that. Let's move this out of the way. And then there is my little beehive. So I think that you could easily do this and have like a few like dotted around. It's gonna look really cute like that. And if you place it down and then you're like, oh, I don't like the placement of that, you can actually go in and just grab this, like it's one whole connected item. So you can quite easily move them around, and I love that about it. Is it the most factual looking beehive? Probably not, but is it good enough for Palia beehives? I think so. If you've done a few little beehives and maybe now you're thinking, oh, I could do with a nice little stool to sell some of my honey, then I'm going to show you a nice quick way to make like a little stool out of the kind of terracotta pavers and also the building floors here. As you can see, all I'm doing is placing these terracotta pavers over the building block floors, and this again is going to use a similar technique to what we did to make the roof of the other one. Is just going to be a little bit more complicated because we're going to add in a builder's pillar to our shelf instead, and then we're going to rotate that 2 times, and then here you need to try and pick up the builder's floor again. If it doesn't work, what you need to do is move off one of the paver and then raise up that builder's floor and put the paver back on the builder's floor before you try and put it in place. So this was a little bit finicky. Sometimes it's easier to kind of grab things as they are, but you could have probably also used the cut method. And then once you place that builder's floor on top of the pillar, because it's rotated like that, you will then get this slanted roof effect. Now to do the other side, because obviously we want them to kind of join in the middle, we're going to rotate it the other way the same amount of time. So we're going to do it 2 times, and then we are going to do again, just move that paver out of the way so that we can grab the bottom. I'm sure there is an easier way to do this, but it was just the quickest way that I found at the time. And then as you can see, it will, when we pick it up, it will be the opposite way. So just remember how many times you rotate the shelf, as that's going to be very important to get the things lined up correctly. As you can see here, we now have this nice little roof area, and the good thing about this is that you can just pick up the pillars, because obviously this is very, very short. So what you're going to do then is pick up the pillars, put them on the builder's block, and you can actually move things around easily. You can get them lined up if they're not quite lined up as much as you would like them, or you can add a little table in there. You can even add new kind of building blocks. I actually decided, for me, I wanted to go in with the ranch table. So in order to get it in place, I've used the cut method. So I've just kind of smudged it in there, and then it gives it a little bit of color. As you can see, there is like a little bit of the orange poking through from the table. So in order to hide this, what I did was I moved the pillar off, and then I found one of these pavers, and I just thought it added like a nice little bit of detail. I'm sure you could come up with something different if you wanted to. you could probably go in with all of the plank pavers along here to make it like a nice table. But I just thought that this was like a really nice, easy, simple design for a little kind of stand if you wanted to make something like this to sell all of your honey. So I hope this helped. I hope you enjoy it. And let me know if you do try and recreate any of this, or maybe it will just inspire you for when it comes to working on something else. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.